Portugal, there's a YouTube show full of fun facts you need to know.
It's as if nothing ever happened with all of that earlier setup. Let me welcome to the Good Morning Portugal show, Ben Austin, who is... You're such a pro.
Just start waving, guys.
Did you see what I did there? Learn Portuguese phonetically.
Exactly. That's what we're all about.
Right. So what gave you this idea? Is it because of so many people struggling with the language, all these people doing A2s, and they're never speaking it when they're out and about? What's going on?
Exactly. No, I think the way that we're taught languages, whether it be in school or whether it be by taking classes, is completely backwards. I find that with Portuguese especially, you're going to have to learn to manipulate your mouth in such a way and say so many syllables and say so many words that you would never say in English. I do apologize. I did find that quite funny as well.
Yes.
One of those instances where I don't think about what I say before I say it.
Yes, yeah, but you're right. There is a whole sort of gauntlet to run of new oral shapes, you might say.
Exactly, oral shapes.
Come on, focus.
I apologize. It's too early in the morning for this. I haven't had my coffee. I've got the budget Good Morning Portugal mug. I've only got good.
Right. Okay. Well, we'll do a GoFundMe to get Morning Portugal printed on the other side of that for you.
Please.
Depending on how this goes. So I'm writing phonetically again. So that I can put that on the screen. So yeah, I would agree with you. I mean, AI is reminding us, isn't it, that how we do things is kind of like industrial revolution. We've got learning methods dating back to industrial schooling of a good 100 years ago. Things haven't moved on, but maybe they are with you with this new approach. So did you have a sort of aha moment, or what prompted it?
Well, I did have a aha moment a few years ago as well, if you remember correctly. I did do a bit of a language course. Then I got bogged down with college, and I got bogged down with my work as well at a bar. So I had to stop doing that for a while. Now I've found that with more people coming to Portugal, I thought there's a bit of a market for this. So let's go for it again. I've got a bit of a background with this. It's a system that's worked for me as well, learning things phonetically. I managed to teach myself Italian. I can speak German conversationally as well now, which is
That's
great.
Amazing. Okay, so it's tried and trusted in your own personal experience, not just a theory.
In my experience, yes. And the other major reason for doing this is when I signed up for being a responsible adult, I didn't realize, quite frankly, how important money is. This elusive concept.
Well, if it comes as any consolation, I still haven't quite grasped that lesson. It can come quite awkwardly to some of us. But yeah, sorry to hear that, mate. I sympathise.
Yeah, no, apparently it comes in the form of paper and coin. I just don't seem to have any.
You will. I think with a brilliant mind like yours and ideas like this, keep going. And I think those bits of paper and coins, that's if they're still allowed. Excuse me, in the coming years, or to put it another way, I'm sure the digital currency will be pouring into your digital wallet as long as you don't misbehave and have it limited in some way by the World Economic Forum.
And that's a big if.
Back in the day, Grandad would say, "Work hard, lad, and you'll earn plenty of money." Now he has to say, "Well, be careful with your social credit score." Hopefully not. Get thee back, Satan. Right, sorry. Learning Portuguese phonetically. Go on.
Yes, exactly. Back on track. So I have prepared a little activity for us today. Let's see. Can I share my screen here?
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead.
Here we go. Share screen.
All right, I'll stop sharing. And whilst you're finding that, agree, Ben, says Mel. In native language, you learn to speak it by mimicking the first 5 years. Mama, cake, etc. Then go back and do grammar structure, not the other way around, as we learn Portuguese. So true. And my Portuguese language training is apparently kicking in. I spoke an English word to Viv yesterday with the accent on the penultimate syllable. Padaria. Very good. And Paul Richards, congratulations. I think a big wedding anniversary. How to make $1 million. Start with 2 million. There's some financial advice for you. I think that's how Paul might have done it. Well done, Paul, on your great marital milestone. And I think recent birthday wishes as well to you. All the celebrations you're having, I hope they're excellent for you in the Algarve, where the sun is shining today. Okay, we've got it. Live stream lesson. Let's take
Here we go. Perfect. Right, now, I can't... Unfortunately, my entire screen's now been taken up by this, so I can't see your face, Carl, or the comments coming in, so you're going to have to be my eyes and ears in that regard.
Some say that's a blessing, so go ahead.
So I propose a little, got a little proposition here for the comment section as well. Give me some words and sentences you struggle with in Portuguese, and let's work through them together. Or even something in English that you'd like to know in Portuguese.
Yeah, great. Okay. You heard the man, Paul, because Paul had the ear kettle, I think it was called, where it was a simultaneous translator. I think that's probably the future. We probably won't have to learn languages because of AI at some point. There'll be a sort of Tower of Babel type communicator that we'll all be linked to. And this will be seen as a sort of arcane, esoteric matter. But for the time being, I think we should carry on learning in the progressive way you describe here. So where are we? Are we going to the restaurant first? That's a good start.
Restaurar. Restaurar is a word that means to restore. So I've got a series of words here, very, all covered in black, very elusive at the moment, which are words I find people struggle to pronounce phonetically, and they're filled with syllables. I've left a little guide up here for myself. So with these words, we're going to learn the two R's. We're going to learn how to pronounce ow versus el, and we're going to learn different types of A's as well.
Oh, go on, man. Yeah, we're with you.
Without further ado, should we crack on? Do we have like a drum roll sound or something we could use here just to build up the tension a little bit?
It's got cobwebs on it. No, that's not it.
You know that?
That's not it. That's not it. No. Let me work. And now, ladies and gentlemen,
we'll work with what we have.
We'll go with what we got. Okay.
All right. Okay. The twinkle sound was quite nice. We'll just pretend that just played there.
Yes.
So, first word, desfrutar.
Desfrutar. Okay. And we want people to repeat this at home, don't we?
We want people to, if people can try pronounce it as they go along, talk to your screen. Don't be worried about looking a bit dodgy. No one's watching.
And you always look like that anyway. Newsflash.
Exactly. So I'm just going to break this down into syllables. Desfrutar. So we start off with the standard D sound in Portuguese, a soft E, and the j, the sort of weird S that people seem to struggle with Portuguese as well. So des would be our first syllable. Fru. Fru, we're touching on something quite important here. Not a lot of people realize that there are two types of R in Portuguese. In English, we only get one, really. If we think of an English word with an R in it, nothing's coming to mind at the moment. But
Robalo.
No. That's an English word. Yeah.
Rubber.
Rubber, exactly. You'll notice that we have our R sound is just a R, the standard R. In Portuguese, we have two. We have the guttural R, which is usually sounded when two R's are put together, or an R at the start of the word, which is kind of like a R almost. If you do your worst French accent possible, you will get there.
Oh, what fun! Like Sacha Distel or Charles Aznavour or somebody like that.
Exactly, some sort of Monty Python. You silly English big dog, I fart in your general direction. Yeah, the R will naturally come out like that.
We're enjoying this already. We're loving these lessons. Okay,
exactly.
Of the Python.
So here in this instance, we have the second R, which is the rolled R. So instead of coming from the back of the throat and creating a sort of guttural sound like a R, we're going to roll the tongue and we're going to do a bit of a R.
R. Okay.
R. So desfrutar.
Desfrutar.
Tar. And then our last syllable here, tar, we're getting a bit of a harder, more pressed A. We've got an A. So desfrutar.
Desfrutar.
Usually when you have an A in a word, it will have a accent on top of it, like so. But sometimes Portuguese can be a sneaky language and we'll get one in there where no one sees.
Yes. You turn your back and suddenly there's a bloody accent on something. Yes.
Exactly. Where you least expect it. A bit like the Spanish Inquisition.
Or if we stay with the sort of film motifs that people have, it's like Kato in the Pink Panther, isn't it?
Exactly.
There's an accent hiding in a cupboard somewhere.
Exactly. And if you want to pronounce the guttural R, you just do your best. What was he called? Peter Sellers doing Jean Clouseau.
This is great. This is really, really helpful. These are connections people can make, and their neural pathways are joyously lighting up as they learn Portuguese.
Okay, so back on point now. Desfrutar. Trying to bring it in, otherwise I'm going to go off on a tangent, and we're going to spend half an hour talking about Peter Sellers. So desfrutar.
The Pavlova of the parallel bars. Sorry, go on.
He falls off the thing afterwards.
Okay, I'm going to mute myself because this is not.
Okay, so desfrutar in Portuguese also means to enjoy. That's the first word here. So breaking it down again. Desfrutar. De, remember, soft E, fru, rolled R, then tar at the end. Hard A with a rolled R again. Right,
Okay.
moving on to our next word now. We have, I'm going to imagine there's some sort of drum roll, dramatic build-up. Dun, 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 dun. Correr.
What excellent effects you brought for us.
Thank you. You know, I know I can't rely on you for these things, so I just I
True.
bought my own. I've got my
Actually,
own bag of home remedies.
I'll see what I can do.
Courir. So let's break this down to syllables again. Cool. And I think we can keep this, although it's a bit long, we can keep rir as one because it's only a handful of sounds here. So cool, we're going in sort of soft, back of the mouth kind of O, which sounds like a U. I know that's concept that's hard to get your head around.
Yes,
Cool.
but obrigado. We've learned that from obrigado, haven't
Exactly, obrigado, which has two different types of O, but we'll get to that. We'll get to that later. And funnily enough, cool is also another word for arse in Portuguese, except you spell it with a U. So that's a useful word to know.
we? Here's value right there.
Exactly. After this, we're getting into something a bit more complicated, especially if you're not used to pronouncing the two R's in Portuguese. So we have the r, the guttural R, the two R's in a row, and then we have a kind of pressed E.
Yeah.
So courir. And then right at the end of that, after doing the guttural R, a weird E, you're going to have to do a rolled R. So it gets a bit complicated. Courir.
Courir. Okay.
Courir. We're almost there. We're
Courir.
almost there with it. Courir.
Courir.
Maybe if I put an extra.
Do
What's
you know,
it called?
I found the drum roll now.
Separator.
We will eventually get sick of this, but I found it. Well, tell me when you're ready. I've got the drum roll ready.
Okay. Well, when we're ready to, when we move on. So,
Yep.
broke it down to three parts. I think it makes more sense like this. Courir.
Courir. Okay, yes.
Courir. You're kind of pronouncing a bit guttural towards the roll with the last R at the end. The last R is a rolled R.
Yeah.
Think like Manuel from Faulty Towers.
See, Mr. Forti. Yes. Okay. Yes, I'm there. Okay.
Exactly. You have to roll the R.
It's okay. It's a rat. It's a rat.
Exactly, the rat.
Mr. Forti. It's a rat. Okay. Yeah. Got it.
So we got
This
the
is
Peter Sellers
learning-
R, and we got the
learning
Manuel from Faulty
Portuguese.
Towers.
Learning Portuguese through British comedy. This is another level now.
Yeah, I've just improved my business model now. We're no longer doing it phonetically. We're now doing it through classic comedies. Wait till we get to Only Fools and Horses. You're going to crack up. Okay, so I think we're ready for another drum roll. Oh, by the way, courir means to run. It would help if I actually explained the meanings of the words as well,
Yes.
instead of just throwing them at you and telling you how to pronounce them.
Very good. Here we go.
Here we go. Alcançar!
Oh no! From Faulty Towers. How can I help you?
Alcançar, right. Alcançar means to achieve. And if we break this down into different syllables, we can break it down to three parts. Al.
Yes. Okay, really getting this now.
Okay. Al, which is easy enough to pronounce, a kind of a hard accented A with an L, slight L at the end. Al. Can. A bit like the English can, but instead of a pressed A, we're going to just soften it a little bit. And sad, whenever we get this funny little C with a squiggle at the bottom in Portuguese, it's pronounced as a S as opposed to a K, almost as if you had a K sound. Usually when you get the C without it, it'll be like a K sound.
Yeah.
So altogether, we have alcançar.
Alcançar. Okay. Very
Exactly. Perfect. And you rolled your R. You did the little Manel R at the end there.
good. Yeah, it's in the muscle with humor. It's the great way to learn, isn't it?
Exactly. And the great thing about this is you'll get used to pronouncing all these sounds. That's the idea with this. I want people for this to be sort of muscle memory to them, pronouncing this rolled R, pronouncing the guttural R, knowing the different types of E. And when you go out in public as well, you'll hear people pronounce these sounds. You'll be able to copy words a lot better and a lot more efficiently too.
Yes.
Because there's no point in teaching you all the grammar. There's no point in teaching you how to conjugate verbs if you can't pronounce them.
Exactly. And this is why people study for weeks, if not months, and then still go into the cafe and bottle it at the last minute, don't they? And say, do you speak English, Scooper? Yeah.
Exactly. You have to learn how to listen to a language, learn how to learn it properly. I have to break down what I just said there. You have to learn how to listen to a language to learn it properly. There we go. That made sense.
You're absolutely right. And as Mel said, this is how children learn. You know, it's kind of obvious, isn't it? The children are immersed in the family listening for words, needing to communicate. The parents are also encouraging them, just keep saying things to them, like say mama, say cake or whatever. And they say it, and they get a massive round of applause, don't they? That's how we learn.
Exactly. And you make a very good point. You know, when you come here at a younger age, like I did, I was about, what, 4, 5, 6, I don't remember. It was a while ago now, when I came here. And I grew up around the language. I managed to absorb it. However, since then, I've also been in the position where I've had to, teach myself a language. I had to teach myself Italian. I've had to learn German. I lived in both those countries for a little bit.
Yes.
So I can sympathize with someone who's come to Portugal, doesn't know much of the language, and is just trying to get through it. Little tips and tricks I picked up along the way.
Yes, Ben, there is a bit of an emergency at this end. Now, sorry to cut you off abruptly, but I think we've got enough there to get going. And will you come back? Can we do this on a regular basis?
Oh yeah, definitely.
All right, because that is a fantastic introduction. I'm aware that I distracted you far too much with British comedy references and my rant at the beginning. But I think definitely we should leave people wanting more. I certainly do. Okay, Asura. Okay, and so I've got an abrupt finish here that I have to enact for you. It's a time of chaos. I did say, didn't I? The chaotic time. So thank you very much for that introduction. Thank you everybody for being with us this morning. And we will return, right? So we'll do this on a monthly basis with you, or maybe more often than that, so we can really get the ball rolling here.
Twice a month, if you want, I'd be happy with that. I can bring some content forward. I'll bring some more old British comedy references as well.
You absolute legend. Thank you everybody for joining the live stream this morning. Thank you, Ben, very much. And so sorry to cut you short, but okay. I beg your forbearance, patience, and forgiveness. And we'll see you again soon. Could you give us a phonetic goodbye?
Yes, I could say adeus. And if you're interested in learning Portuguese language phonetically, I am now on Facebook again. I don't like using Facebook very much, but I'm now back on it. Just Ben Austin on Facebook.
Marvelous. Cheers, Ben. Take care, everybody. Bom fim de semana.
In Portugal, there's a YouTube show full of fun facts